I got cut off because I wasn't aware of the limitations of my primitive technology. It would only let me record for an hour at a time. So I apologize if I made you sit through multiple videos, but like I said, I'm not where I want to be. But from where I left off, the most important thing would be views and view duration, then engagements. Likes are irrelevant to me personally. I feel like people have the right to like or dislike as they see fit. I would like it if they gave some type of reason, gave some type of criticism, were engaged in some way, and wasn't so detached and passive about expressing their opinion. But I'm not concerned about likes. I don't say anything to deliberately offend people. I'm not fake. I'm not saying things to deliberately set people off. I'm not deliberately being ignorant or dumb. Some things I may be wrong about. Some things I feel very strongly about, and no amount of evidence, even God itself, could come down from the heavens or wherever and tell me that whoop de whoop de whoop is the truth. I still wouldn't change my mind on some issues, but that is not a whole lot. Those types of issues are few and far between. Most things I will think critically about, and I will consider, differences of opinion. That's why I have my opinion out there. So I'm very concerned about, comments and loyal commenters and people who are engaged in what I want to say, because I want to take what I get from here and, use it in real life, and take what I do in real life and use it here. One of the things that you said, about canvassing and going out into the neighborhood and posting up things, one thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot in the first video was, think about if you walked up to I don't know how to put this. I don't know how to put this because I had a train of thought when I was driving to where I stay to make this video, and it kind of escapes me. But just the reason why I don't want to go to a bunch of big videos, other than the fact that their subscriber base and the people who watch their videos are very unengaged in what they do. But the reason why I don't want to do that is because now I remember. Okay, the reason I don't want to do that is, imagine walking up to 200 random people you saw on the street. Just 200 random people you saw on the street, and you said, "Hey man, hey, can you come here for a second? Can you come here for a second?" And they approached you, they walked up to you and they said, "Hey, how are you doing? What do you need?" It's like, "Hey man, I'm down on my luck, man, but I'm a hard worker. I work real hard, and I wanted to know if you could give me a job, man. I really need a job." Now imagine doing that to 200 people in the same area. Like you constantly walked up to strangers and you asked for jobs. Now, you may need a job and you may be sincere in your approach. But the problem is that most people do not have a job to give you. And you walking around asking a bunch of strangers to either give you a job or help you look for a job or help you find a job or inform you of who's hiring makes you look like a beggar. Now you're begging for a job, but you're still a beggar. And people don't respect beggars. And I don't want to be untrue. I don't want to be inauthentic. I don't want to, suffer from pride. and have this sense of pride that I'm too much to grovel at the feet of another man. It's like, no, I need work, but I gotta send that shit through the proper channels, man. I gotta do the shit you do to find work. The stranger on the street is not qualified to really give me a job. Now let's flip the analogy back on the internet. Now imagine you follow like the Breakfast Club, Sway in the Morning, and Hot 97. You follow them regularly, and you always see this guy who is spamming everybody in the timeline. It's like, hey man, I did this great video about this video. You should really check it out. And then you scroll down. Every commenter, hey man, I did this great video. You should really check it out. It's like that's not hustling. That's not grinding. That's not work. That's like a shortcut. It's like these people didn't get their audience, the audience that they got doing that. I don't know how they got it. I don't know what their marketing strategy was. I don't know what how they promoted. I don't know how they got it, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't begging people to come watch their channel. It wasn't spamming a bunch of people. It wasn't trying to hustle a bunch of people. It was doing the work from the grassroots and building themselves up organically. I may never be successful doing this. I may never get anywhere doing this. I may be in wage slavery for the rest of my life. But if I ever do get somewhere with this, I want to build something that's sustainable, something that's going to last, something that's solid, and somewhere that I can be versatile. So that means anything that's even remotely like that is grassroots. It's not bothering a bunch of people online who are not even that engaged with transacting back and forth with people online. It's about constantly going to real life human beings, forming relationships, and going from there. See, the thing about me, I don't have any real life friends. I don't have any friends in real life. I don't know what you think of me or my presentation or how I do this or how good I am or how good I'm not, but I don't discuss the things that I get on here and talk about with any real life human being. There's no person that I talk to about anything. I don't have a real life conversation with any man, woman, or child any day of the week. So I gotta come up with all of this shit on my own. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that's a problem. That's a problem because I don't have perspective. I lack perspective. I lack, I lack the other side. I lack another form of another aspect of analysis. So I need to figure out how I'm going to continuously build real world, real life relationships and keep them going. Now, I do talk to people. I don't want you to think that I'm sitting in a room all the time silent. People do talk to me, and I do have conversations with people. But the people in my life who talk to me are, very difficult people to deal with. So it's not really a conversation about anything fun or anything deep or anything that I would want to take online. It's something that I'm trying to, it's something that is motivation for me trying to make this work and trying to find a link to move on. So I'm not married to the idea of being a blogger. If blogging gets me into a situation where I meet somebody in the city that I live in Louisiana, or online, who puts me on to an idea that, makes a lot of money and I virtually pretty much work for myself, I'll do that. I'll do that, and I'll make videos in my spare time just to make my ideas part of the record. But I don't need to be get I'm not married to this just for its sake. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not trying to be a star. I'm not trying to be a star. I'm trying to be whatever I can be, giving the absolute best effort that I can give to it, and being as smart as I can about building. So, what makes a good blogger? I would say, in my opinion, whatever that's worth, good content. Having good content, whatever your content is. If it's comedy, be consistently funny. If it's commentary, be consistently insightful. If it's movie reviews, be consistently whatever you bring to the table. Whatever you have, the bedrock, the foundation, at least for me, and what I want to do, is good content. Good content can compensate for, you know, deficiencies in other areas. But if you have the best video, the best audio, whatever, then nothing's going to work for you. There's this girl that I'm not even going to mention her name. I'm not even going to say that. But I would say that content is the heart and soul of of what would make a good blogger. And once you have good content, then you need to understand your business. You need to understand how the back end works. I haven't studied the back end. I haven't looked into the back end. I haven't thoroughly analyzed the back end because I haven't got the system going that I want to get going yet. How I would do it, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get real people in real life that I can talk to on a consistent basis, maybe 5 to 10 real people that I can call up on a moment's notice and have maybe an hour or a 2 hour or a 3 hour conversation, maybe meet them in a public place because I can't afford to get anything to eat. We have a discussion. They tell me what they're interested in. They tell me what they like. They tell me what they've seen. We go back and forth on how we feel about it, what we think. I distill it. I put it out. I ask them to watch it every now and then. Hopefully a few of them do. They give me comments on it, and I go back and forth. Meanwhile, once I've got that set up, I learn about the back end. I learn about how YouTube works, how to market it online, how to make the videos better, how you get paid, what kind of taxes do you have to take out of, can you leave it in to accumulate, all of the business. Then once I got a good enough system in real life, and once I understand how the money works to a well enough degree, and I know how to get my money, and I know who to pay, I know how much to pay them, I know how to promote, I got a system for how I want to promote, then I start implementing the cheapest, most cost effective way for whatever my situation is at that point. Doing what I can to promote the videos. If I'm elevating in skill, if people are starting to say that I'm good, if people are starting to say that this is great, if my group of friends are spreading this information around to their friends and their families, and I'm starting to get a bit of a following, I'm starting to crack a little bit of a ceiling, then I need to kind of play around with how I want to market it. Then after that, I need to learn about pure marketing and pure promotion, and market my stuff and promote my stuff and to as loud and as wild and as crazy as I can, with as much skill as I can. And maybe in that, and in that alone, I may be a little bit of a character, because I've always been a fan of professional wrestling. So the best way to promote it is to kind of manipulate your character a little bit. So since I'm a fan of that, I may do a little acting in terms of promoting or cutting a promo. I may do a little bit of acting, but that would be all tongue in cheek. That wouldn't be anything that I want people to take seriously. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my general idea about things, pretty much how everything works. A little background, just a little background about me and what my motivations are and why I do things and what my thought process is. I believe I've covered everything that you laid out for me. I appreciate the question. It was a two-part question. And another thing is, the last thing, I've seen a lot of videos where it'll be two parts and the second part will have less views than the first. That's crazy to me, that people will have two-part videos and their second part won't have at least as many as the first. So people will watch a video and not even be concerned about what the conclusion is. That is emblematic of why I try to do things my way, because the way that it works for everybody else, the way that it's done for everybody else, the method that everybody else has is for them. And I want to learn everything that I can use and that I need to know, but I got to do it at my own pace and my own level in my own time. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm lazy. I don't want anybody to think that I don't have like a work ethic, because I'll do this shit all day long like it's nothing. But I want to give things that are worth people's time. I'm really respectful of people's time. So when I put this out, I don't try to put it out and then try to get people to watch it, because I don't personally feel that I'm at a level that I'm comfortable with. Even just the content part, even just my part, not just the video, not just the sound, but just what I bring to the table is not good enough for me to spread. So that's why I don't do things, but I'm going to get to that, because I believe anything you practice and anything you do consistently and anything you do a lot, you get a certain skill at it. And there's just no way to do this without actually putting the videos out. There's no way to do this without actually putting them online. If there was a way for me to practice without putting it out for the public, I'd probably do it and then wait until I was where I was. But it doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't make any practical sense. I would never be able to get better that way. It would be a deeper version of one of my foundational problems of not having anyone in real life to, help shape my opinion. I gotta put it out. I gotta let the public see it. Whoever wants to watch it can find it, and I can grow that way because it's out there. So I'm still practicing. I'm still picking things up. I'm still learning, and hopefully I will get someplace at some time in the future. Well, that's pretty much what I had to say. I apologize for it taking two parts. I apologize that it couldn't be one video, but I wasn't aware of how my, software works. It's good to know. I've never actually made a video that was more than an hour. I've made one that was almost an hour, but not more than an hour. So in the future, I will be cognizant of that fact, and I will not do a video where I will be cut off in the middle of it. But because of this question, I learned something that I otherwise wouldn't have known about my own technology. But I appreciate the question. Thank you for the question. I gave you the answer that I could give you to the best of my abilities. I hope you are satisfied with the answer. I hope you will stay engaged in the channel, and that you would assist me in building up a point of view, building up something of or at least challenging the way that I think, or challenging the way that I see things. I would hope that you would assist with that, but you know, people do what they do, and I'm gonna do what I do. But my whole thing is about preferring real life over the internet. The internet is very slow. It's a very slow way to build. Word of mouth is preferable, and real life is faster. So if I can get real life people to spread the word, you know, to their social circle, and when I have a certain level of quality, then I believe that the grassroots approach would be a better, more lasting, um, more solid approach than trying to be trendy or trying to be friendly or trying to work with anybody. Because once I'm linked arm to arm with 100 different niggas, then I gotta co-sign and go along with 100 different niggas, and I gotta try to not step on niggas' toes. I like the idea of staying in Louisiana and building in Louisiana, because I'm a long way from Hollywood. I'm a long way from New York. So if I think that somebody is doing something corny, if I think that somebody put out a lame project, if I think that somebody made a whack movie, then I can talk my shit, and I don't have to worry about, oh, this person isn't going to want to do an interview with me, oh, this person is not going to put me on, oh, this person is not going to make an opportunity. Ain't no shit in Louisiana, nigga. So that's my philosophy as it stands today. It may change in the future. I may do something different in the future, but that's my perspective. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Um, okay, that concludes this video. That concludes this two-part video. Once again, I appreciate the question. If anybody besides the guy who sent me this damn question watch this video, then you deserve a phone call from Jesus from hearing me talk for so goddamn long. Um, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, you can email me at TheMrMaskman@gmail.com. You can leave a comment to the video if you survived both of these long ass videos. You can like, you can dislike, do what you like, do what you feel, be real. I don't have a problem with it. You can follow me on Twitter and find me on Facebook at TheMrMaskman. You can also find me on Daily Motion at TheMrMaskman. That is all I have to say in these two subjects, in these two videos. That is all I have to say. And I will see you in the next video.